Hey, this is Ryan. Today I'm going to go through this whole pipeline to launch our app in EKS. First we'll use code commits. That will be for our Git repo. Code build will push our image to ECR, and then we'll deploy that to EKS. Most of the commands will be on our buildspec.yaml file, and this includes our commands to build the Docker file, push to ECR, and run the kubectl commands. Here's our build spec file. And we have 4 different environment variables: repository name, URI, and a few more, but we'll get into that. Let's start off with code commit. So create a repo. Okay, create. Click on add file, upload file. We have 4 different files here, so let's choose the first one. Main.go. Here's our 4 files. So again, buildspec.yaml, Docker file, hello K8s, and main.go. Let's move over to code pipeline now. Create a pipeline. Choose existing role. So the role that we created, we type in EKS CI/CD. Okay, code pipeline service role. Select that. Next. Source provider. Source provider is going to be code commit. Repo name, EKS CI/CD test. And this is under main, not master, so I'm going to choose main. This is fine, so next. We will use AWS Code Build, and we want to create a project. Call this EKS project. Operating system, Ubuntu. Standard runtime. Image will be the latest image. And select privileged. So enable this flag if you want to build Docker images or want your builds to get elevated privileges. We want to choose our existing service role that we created. So this is code build service role. We already have a build spec file, so that's fine. All right, continue to code pipeline. And this is where we want to add our environment variables. So make sure you select this. We have 4 of them. Okay, I filled these out. So we have our repository URI, repository name, branch, and cluster name. So for our cluster name, let's start with that. That'll be the easiest. When I ran my file, I had it set up under config-file. Repository branch. I guess this is under main, so I'll select main. Could either be that or master. For repository name, this will be our code commit name, which is this. The repository URI, we actually have to create this, so let's make a new tab and type in ECR. Elastic Container Registry. Get started. I'm just going to call this EKS repo. And create. So this is our URI. Paste that here. And we actually have one more variable. This will be our kubectl role, ARN. I already copied that, so I'll paste it in here. Alright, I think that's all set up, so go to next. We'll skip deploy provider since we're using our build spec file. So skip. And create pipeline. While it's building, if you click details, this is gonna show where we're at. Okay, it shows our build stage, or build state succeeded. The push, running command docker push. We do have an error down here. It says command execution error. But before I mess with that, if I go to ECR and refresh, here's our image that we pushed. So most of the work has been done. We have our image. The last step was to get our EKS container up and running. Alright, I'm back. I think the problem has something to do with updating EKS, and that may take an hour, so don't have time for that. But all we really had to do after that was to run kubectl get all. This would give us our load balancer name, so we would copy that, paste it in a browser, and that would allow us to check to see if our application is working. So I'll just skip that and call it done for this tutorial. So that's it for the 30-part series.